Welcome back, everyone. Today, we're going to build a powerful toolkit. We'll take the basic building blocks of human behavior, the stuff you learn in NCERT, and sharpen them into a framework that's ready to tackle the toughest questions the UPSC exam can throw at you. Let's get right into it. Okay, let's start with a real challenge, straight from the 2023 UPSC paper. This question goes right to the heart of what we do in psychology. Why are people so complicated? It seems like a massive tangled web, right? But I promise by the end of our session today, you'll have a super clear, structured way to unravel this and answer it with confidence. So, first things first, we have to start with the hardware, our biology. This is the universal blueprint that every single one of us shares. It's the foundation that everything else, our culture, our learning, our personality, is built on top of. Now, to really get a grip on our biological hardware, we've got to begin with evolution. Just think of it as the ultimate millions of years long design process, the environment through challenges at our ancestors, and the biological systems that help them survive, like a lightning-fast stress response to a predator. Those are the very systems we're all walking around with today. This slide right here, this is the elegant solution to that age-old nature versus nurture debate. Your genotype, that's the genetic code you inherit, your personal blueprint. But your phenotype is what we can actually see, your height, your eye color, your personality traits. And here's the absolute key. The phenotype isn't just a direct copy of your genes. No way. It's the product of your genes interacting with your environment. The genes provide the plan, but the environment is the builder. So how does this blueprint actually send out commands? Well, that's the job of the nervous system, our body's incredible high-speed information highway. It's easiest to think of it in two main parts. You've got the central nervous system, which is the big boss, the brain and spinal cord, and then you have the peripheral nervous system, which is like all the wiring that connects the boss to the rest of the body, controlling everything from you deciding to pick up a pen to your heart beating without you even thinking about it. At the center of it all, of course, is the brain. And for the UPSC syllabus, one area you really need to zoom in on is the forebrain. This is the absolute powerhouse for all our thinking, feeling, and doing. So let's peel back a layer and look at some of its most important parts. These structures are your secret weapon for any UPSC question on motivation or emotion. The tiny hypothalamus, it's the master regulator. It's the reason you feel hangry when you haven't eaten. Then there's the limbic system. Its hippocampus is like your brain's memory architect, filing away today's experiences for later. And the amygdala, that's your personal alarm system, giving you that jolt of fear when a car horn blares right next to you. Remember that part of the nervous system that works on autopilot? Well, it has two modes that are kind of like a gas pedal and a brake. The sympathetic division is the gas pedal, your fight or flight response. It revs everything up to deal with a threat. Then the parasympathetic division is the brake, your rest and digest system. It calms everything back down when the danger's gone. A healthy, well-adjusted person is constantly balancing these two. Now, running in parallel to this super fast nervous system is the endocrine system. If the nervous system is like sending an instant message, the endocrine system is more like sending a letter through the mail. It's a bit slower, using chemical messengers called hormones that travel through our blood, but its effects on our mood, growth, and energy can last a whole lot longer. For behavior, two glands are especially important. The pituitary gland is like the conductor of the whole hormonal orchestra, and the adrenal glands, they are front and center in our stress response. They're the ones that release hormones that keep that fight or flight feeling going, which is why you might still feel shaky and your heart is pounding minutes after you slam on the brakes to avoid an accident. Okay, so we've got the biological hardware sorted, but even the best computer is just a box until you install some software. So now let's talk about the cultural programming that determines how our biology actually shows up in the world. So what is culture, really? It's everything. It's the vast shared ocean we all swim in. It's the language we use, the family structures we have, the food we eat, the beliefs we hold dear. It's the software that takes our raw biological drives and gives them meaning and direction. So how do we download all this cultural software? Through two main processes. And listen up, because this distinction is a favorite for the exam. Enculturation is what you learn just by being there, without anyone directly teaching you, like how you pick up your family's way of cooking. Socialization, on the other hand, is deliberate. It's when someone, a parent, a teacher, actively teaches you the rules and skills you need to fit in and succeed in your society. And now we get to the most crucial part of our framework, the synthesis. This is where it all comes together. It's where the hardware meets the software, where our ancient biological blueprint gets shaped and molded by our cultural code to create the amazing, complex human behavior we see all around us. In our globalized world, different cultures are interacting all the time. Acculturation is the name for the changes that happen when this contact occurs. Understanding this concept is absolutely vital for talking about big UPSC topics like migration, multiculturalism, and social integration, especially in Paper 2. This table is a fantastic tool because it lays out the different ways people adapt. It's all based on the answers to two simple questions. Do I hold on to my own culture? And do I engage with the new one? If it's yes to both, that's integration, which is usually the healthiest path. Assimilation is when you let go of your old culture to fit into the new one. Separation is the opposite, holding on to your own and avoiding the new. And marginalization, sadly, is when you lose a connection to both. I love this quote. It perfectly captures the final big idea we need to tie everything together. It's telling us that we don't just inherit genes, we inherit ideas too. And that brings us to this really beautiful concept, dual inheritance theory. It argues that we humans are shaped by two parallel streams of evolution happening at the same time. We get our genes from our parents, that's one stream, but we also inherit our culture, our ideas, our beliefs, our technologies from a huge network of people. This totally moves us past the old nature versus nurture fight. It shows us that they are two streams flowing together, constantly influencing each other to make us who we are. Okay, so we've built our framework, biological hardware, running cultural software, all shaped by this dual inheritance. That's great, but how do we actually use it? Let's put it to the test with some real questions from past UPSC papers. And here it is, the all-time classic nature-nurture question, straight from the 2021 paper. It looks so broad and intimidating, right? But with the framework we've just built, a clear, high-scoring answer is right at our fingertips. Here's your game plan. It's a 4-step process. 1. You immediately show the examiner you're sophisticated by defining genotype and phenotype to establish it's always an interaction. 2. For nature, you talk about the biological machinery, the nervous and endocrine systems. 3. For nurture, you explain how culture gets passed on through enculturation and socialization. And 4. You bring it all home with dual inheritance theory as your grand synthesis. Perfect. Let's do one more, this one from 2023, asking about motivation. Again, our framework lets us slice this question into 2 neat, manageable parts, which is the key to a comprehensive answer. See how this works? For the physiological part, you pull directly from our biological blueprint. The hypothalamus, driving hunger, the limbic system's role in emotion, the adrenal glands giving us that jolt of energy. For the psychological part, you draw from our cultural software, how we learn what's worth striving for through socialization. And then you connect them with a killer synthesis. Our biology gives us the engine, but our culture gives us the map and tells us where to go. So what we've built here today is more than just an exam cracking tool. It's a new lens for looking at the world. Because human behavior is never just one thing. It's always this beautiful, complex dance between our universal biology and our unique cultural programming. So the real question isn't just for the exam, it's for you. The next time you see someone do something complex and confusing, how are you going to use this framework to understand why?